So we're going to play some Blair Witch in the meantime. What's going on here? So when you come back, they're just like, don't worry, we'll start you with no fucking torch in hand, right? Jesus. Jesus Christ.
I hope you know where you're going, boy.
Let's get this back. Doing good. Your skull candies broke last night and you hate earbuds, so I went out and brought new headphones. Fair. Yeah, I'm not a fan of like in-ear headphones. Like I know they're much easier outdoors. I don't really like necessarily having that much over my ears when I'm outside necessarily. You know, you still like to like hear a little bit, I guess. But like, yeah, I much prefer over. Ooh. I'd rather you didn't. I'm not a fan of this noise right now, you know. Why is my camera shaking? Am I in the nest? Oh god. Oh god, oh god, oh god. Like a Fairfire reinstall. End game, baby! How you doing, my man? Can I have my light back, please?
Time to play the game!
I can't remember how to do stuff. What was it I do? That?
These things are creeping me out. They seem...
Fucking hell. How you doing, game baby? Fabian. La 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 la, Fabian. Fuck is going on in this little room? Oh, night vision's not working. Well, that's great. Why are you saying words like kill? I don't want to hear kill. Where am I going? Am I going the right way? I don't know if this is the way I came in now or not. Oh, fucking hell. Just went about, can I had a lion bar. Nice, things are good. Lion bars are fucking banging, man. It's a good shout. I'm going the right way. Wait, where am I?
Whoa!
Why am I in here again?
Oh my god.
Oh, because I thought the child might be in this cave, right?
Fuck.
It's getting very descent all of a sudden, you know. Oh, hello?
This again.
Lucas. Man, this witch has had plenty of like people to feast on soul-wise. Why does she need me? Why? Still running a taco shop, or is Ernest retired? Nope, still doing it, dude. I'm not on as much as I used to be by a long shot, but still definitely running that taco shop. My EMS is pretty much retired. I should just retire him. I don't know why I haven't mentioned to the actual team yet. Beyond that, Jesus is doing well. Oh God. Hello? I think you're done with GTA RP. Yeah, to be honest, I think the only person really that's on there still regularly from our little group that was on there before is Enzo. I don't see anyone on there anymore, really, from our group. Fire service must be bored. The fire service are kept in business by me. I can't actually move it now. What is happening? Am I stuck? What's actually going on here? I can't bring out anything.
Oh, thank God.
Okay, I was just stuck. Oh shit, it was 127 hours later type deal. Verify yourself. I mean, people should be using two-step authenticators if they can. Nope. I'm good. In fact, this seems great.
Bullet, where are you? Where's that dog?
Bullet. Well, for me, it's because I have autism spectrum and the earbuds just on me. Oh, okay, in the sensory, so headphones make me feel uncomfortable and doesn't noise sensory at all. Okay, that's fucking awesome then, dude. I mean, not autism that you, not autism, not awesome that you know, can't use normal earbuds, but sick that these other ones are fine. Beep boop no. I need email and phone number to talk in my chat. Don't want to do my Twitch no more. Why don't you get a burner phone? Get a burner phone just specifically for Twitch. And I don't know, like selling buttons. Everything needs buttons. Hey, I got a signal down in this cave. Good shit. Let's see. You have one new voice message.
You have one new message.
Sierra, Hotel, Echo, Inferno, Slaughter.
Oh. Am I a sleeper agent? What the fuck just happened there? But, like, I'm pretty sure this dude was in the war.
Came to your senses.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure this dude was in the war, but was he like a fucking sleeper agent or something? Or is he scared that he still is? Has he gone mental? Doesn't seem comfortable at least. It works. The wanna get famous bots have to whisper you now. They actually whisper you now though? So they still get you if they don't talk in chat, they just... I really hope they were monkey skulls.
Forever mine.
Shit. Oh,
No.
Off the record, Ellis. What the hell happened? You responded to a robbery.
I had one the other day, that's
when
hilarious.
you got there, you saw them leaving the store. You took out your gun. You told them to stop. The kid reached for something. Was it a weapon?
no.
And then what?
No, you know what happened. This is on me.
It's on him.
Adam Shannon. Peter's brother. I don't know what I was thinking. I was the last person he'd want to see. For all I knew, I could have crippled him for life.
So he did something to the kids? That's why he's looking for the kid, because he shot the kid or some shit.
Felt it was something I had to do. Had to. But couldn't.
No. Much as it's a simple with my brain and my body sometimes don't want to work in unison. Fair enough. For example, I would think of what to say to someone like my mate about what you're doing, and it could sometimes come on some different mode. Fair enough, man. But not a lot of that affects your memory. Sweet. Well, I'm glad you can take it in your stride, and like, yeah. I mean, I don't have like obviously like autism or anything, but I have like physical disabilities, and I know how much like certain things can draw you back in normal life. So I'm glad you can like get around it well enough, you know. And animal guts, yeah, it's what they make animals with, Mojo. Bullet! 2 bullets.
Yeah, how did we end up back here?
Bullet, please come here.
Yeah, good dog.
No, I need that physical touch on you, buddy. No, turn your ass around, I need to pet
You're a
you.
handsome boy.
Please let me stroke you, I've been through a lot.
Good dog.
Oh, fuck you then, okay. Did you see something there? What are you doing?
Bullet.
Here we go.
Good boy.
Look like a sausage. What did? I'm back here by the tent. Another one of these things.
Easy, boy. Easy. same, but older. A lot older. Oh, this doesn't make any sense.
I've already got that bit.
Come here, boy. Better now, Bullet?
Marius. No, thank you. I hardly know you. That's a pretty tight legal agreement. Seems like there's a path up there, but... The animal intestines that was spilled out. Oh, yeah, the animal intestines that look like sausage. Well, I guess, you know, not too far in between, right? Are you blocking my way, dog? Yo, dog, what up? It's a very atmospheric game. I don't remember what we're doing.
Bullet, seek.
It looks like it's seen some shit, yeah, right?
Nothing, eh?
Let's go back up here. I remember little bits of this forest, but like I'm still kind of getting my bearings on a lot of it. Just trenches? Wait, I'm back here. Did I genuinely just go in a circle, or is the game throwing me in circles? The game's throwing me in circles. This wasn't here before, I don't think. Fear of Forgetting Critters by Todd McKinnon. Theodore McKinnon, my father, was a lumberjack. When I was a child, he would often take me to the sawmill in Black Hills Forest to tell me stories of the monsters and witches who lived there. I returned to that place after almost 40 years. It looked exactly how I remembered, except for its haunting emptiness. No one was telling the stories of fearsome critters anymore. There was not a single soul to pass the legends on. I know, calm down, String Raiders. The logging company disbanded, the old sawmill was left to rot. But I could not simply let it be forgotten. Not before it revealed its secrets to me. Not before I'd learned what drove my father to take his own life. Ooh. Spooky, hey. Let's do Stream Raiders. So, me or my Jokers are gonna cause some havoc here. Boom, get some. Boom, get some. Boom, get some. Boom, get some. I should turn the sound effects back on. There we go. Oh, we got this one in the bag. We got all these doors that are saving us as well, you know, so I might just wrecking shit. GG! Beautiful. And the winners of that one is Almighty and Jokers, who would have funked it. So next we're gonna go here and go down towards that blue one. And this is a gold loyalty chest. Which holds its value and can be sold in like pawnbrokers and stuff. Look at this big fucker. Right, fight. Way up there now. Right, boy. Well, we're playing the circle game today apparently, so we're gonna try going up here and see what's happening.
Dog tag? Where did...
Palmer alone to you.
That's impossible. Yeah. Let's move on.
A possible Jewish? Okay. Let's see if that's relevant, but... It came down from there. Let's carry on this way, boy. I feel like whatever route we take, it's gonna throw us where it wants us to go at the moment. Why is the music? No. It's definitely walking us in circles because we couldn't have. We walked up that way in a straight line. But shit. Oh, that's nice.
What the fuck?
What the fuck? Children of the forest and their dog. Oh, I think we should just hunker down in this tent for the night, boy. You know? Alright, let's go. This is where I came down, actually, so we want to keep on moving this way. There's a tree there, so we can't actually... Oh, but this way. What'd you see, boy?
See if you can find something, buddy.
Oh, what's up? Did you just...
Yeah, good dog.
Did you... What? Did you find something? Or what? What's the matter with you? You alright?
Heel!
Why is he not moving? What's happening? Is there something bad over here? Come.
Come here, boy.
Are you stuck? What's happening?
Heel!
Why'd you... Where the fuck are we? Let's try the blower. No signal. Oh, actually, no, I know what to do. Oh, we can't get any... Don't have signal. I'm gonna give it a go anyway. Balls. Don't lick the chalk, dude. I don't know if it's lickable chalk. So I did walk past that bit before, because that's where I found the dog tag. And then I walked down there, didn't I think? I've definitely been here before as well. So this is where I walked back to the tent, actually. Yeah, it was.
Bullet!
That's what's going to be interesting with me post-climb. Much brain, yeah, fair man. I'm sure you'll get it, you know. Calm. We have a massive scrapbook at the end of this. Oh no.
What's this? Looks ancient. Come on, boy. Let's leave it alone.
Yeah. Back away, not today, disco lady.
Get on
Little Angela
Fuck you,
Davis,
Mojo.
mustache wearing ass
Actually made me
motherfucker.
jump.
Little Richard Pryor, shortcut fade, having around the side rail, motherfucker.
Little Sammy Davis Award Junior Afro haircut having ass motherfucker. Ooh, Dynamite Disco Danny devastating. Ooh, John Cornelius with a haircut having. Oh, we got a videotape.
Someone left it here for us.
Oh no, this is where it goes down. Oh, the
It's him.
burial.
You buried something nearby. Let's find it, buddy.
Pushed it flat. It's not this bit, is it? Maybe it was back up by the burial bit? Oh, it was this bit, wasn't it?
This looks like the place. What you got there, Bullet?
This seems unchill. Someone's grave. It's getting darker too.
Tappy East Creek Timber Company. Wait, I've seen this logo before. That's where Landing was going. That's worth a shot.
Have we got any scary
We'll
sounds?
finally get some answers.
I mean, all sounds are pretty scary when you're playing stuff like this, right?
Heal! Take a good long whiff, Bullet. It's important.
Ah.
Now show me.
You got this, pup. You got this. Follow your instinct. Go get him, boy. That's a good boy. Yep, boy. That's a good boy. Good boy. Yep, boy. It's a good boy. Oh, sand?
Elijah 5, this is Monarch. Do you copy?
Uh-oh. Oh, he's having a moment.
Elijah 5, come in.
What?
Uh,
Who is this?
fuck are we? Another dog tag.
Another one?
You think you know a good one? Oh no. Elwood Ashley. A negative. No preference. Oh Jesus. Just because, you know, he has no preference doesn't mean he's negative. Well, I guess I'll keep it. I'd hate for a seagull to eat it and get ill. A nice little hop you did there, buddy. I'm quite proud of you on that one. This is a weird area of outsideness, hey? Like, why would you put that up here? Oh, that doesn't look like English anymore.
Monarch, do you copy?
This is...
This seems more like the Middle East all of a sudden. Oh, it's gone. Oh, careful, buddy. There's no sand.
Hey, buddy, what's wrong?
Oh, look at the poor little fella's cowering.
I know. Easy, boy. It's gone.
Oh. 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 Oh dear. I'm disabled. I'm disabled. You want to jump down? What we safe on the sand? Is that what you're trying to tell me, boy? Oh, fuck. I'm coming, boy. I'm coming. just fearless about these leaves. Whoa, hello! I'll join you in a minute there, Bullet. Yeah, I will join you in a minute. Can you not see what I see? Do you not understand the power of leaf? Leaf it out, Bullet! Little humour through the dark times. Fuck it, go for it. Gun it! Oh, oh no! Ow, shit! Ow, leaves! Ow! Okay, so that's what leaves do. Bar! Oh, I can't believe they got bar. As long as I didn't get our better friend bought. So there's a couple. Oh, hey, Bullet. Did you come back because you were scared I didn't know the way? No, I was just terrified of running through fucking hell. Oh, it's also bullets hit me, maybe, not just leaves. Okay, ow. Why do people be so rude? Let me just extinguish my smoke. Yeah, little bud. Is there something in the tree? What's squatting? What's happening here? I'm gonna keep walking. I'm sure you'll follow me at the end. Oh, fucking hell. Oh, fucking hell! I'm not muted. I feel like I was just meant to keep running through that bit anyway. Oh, fuck. Leave it out. Oh, no. Oh, man, come now. Where am I meant to go now? Over towards there, or...?
Come here.
Oh, this is where I just ran from. Fucking hell. Alright. Buddy. They remember not being. You remember being much more abrupt, right? Fair. I feel I'm gonna run over there, but these things are kind of in my way. Maybe I was meant to stay back there and fuck it. Oh shit, we're back in the thick of it. Oh, this guy's gone full on PTSD. There's a fair amount of sound effects to choose from.
Boom shakalaka!
That'll be a good one. Oh wait, what's going on in the neighbourhood? Where do you want me to move to? It's like nowhere to go, it's a shithole.
Calm down. Just calm down.
No,
Hello, could you help me, please?
no.
Oh, that was rude. I think it's like a good minute, Cora.
Jesus.
You're not a good minute. Much longer, I'm afraid.
I can't. Ah!
Oh,
Bullet.
this guy's really going for it.
Things would have been different if you... All this would never... I would never...
I'm not letting go of Bullet. I'm gonna let him have as much time with this dog as he needs.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, wait, shift, fully hold, okay. Okay.
I'm okay. Yeah. I'm okay. Good boy. Good boy.
Bullet.
Yeah, good dog.
That's a pretty good one for it, actually. Okay. Back to it. Peter, please just show up so we can get out of these fucking woods.
Fuck. Yeah. We need to find another way.
Pussy.
Because I hate you!
Pretty good one. Oh wait, oh.
Aren't you a handsome boy?
Przemysław. Good boy.
Good dog.
Oh, he got up this time. Good old lad. Oh, look at him. He's well happy. Alright, I'm feeling good about it. Let's carry on, buddy. What?
Heel.
Is this the way I came from just a moment ago or not? I really can't remember now. What?
Come on, look around, boy.
Fuck off!
trick? Let's see where it leads.
I think this, we had the patch for the sawmill, didn't we? So I guess we head to the sawmill. Although there seems to be a lot of leaves. Excuse
We won't
me.
be able to sneak by this time.
Okay. I'll trust you on this.
Come here.
Signal. Oh shit.
Hey, Jess.
Hey yourself, what's up?
You know, just checking in, checking up on you. I mean, how are you?
Wow, that was smooth. You're a regular Don Juan.
Actually, more of a Don 2.
Oh, hey, let's see you run around a dark, muddy forest for a while. It doesn't really help with your romancing skills.
Speaking of which, any progress?
Jess, there's something really messed up going on in these woods.
Okay. If you're trying to scare me, it's working.
Where's
Sorry,
Bullet?
I can't explain it now. I wouldn't even know where to start. Just
Uh-oh.
listen. If anything happens,
Maybe just give him private time.
Hey, stop it, Ellis. Whatever it is you want to tell me, you can do it once you get back, okay?
Not if it's like he's left some meat out and he needs to get into the freezer because it's already starting to defrost and stuff, you know.
Yourself into, but you can always leave. Just get out of there.
I think I can,
No one will
though.
think any less of you for it. Least of all me.
I can't. At least not yet.
I mean, I personally would have got the fuck out of these woods by now with what's been going on with him.
You'd better.
Okie dokie, well, let's see if we can get that pizza now. Well, let's call a few people. Hello, hello, Alon. Oh, come on, well, how are you all on the phone so much? It's 11:40 at night. Who are you talking to? Best be open. Here we go.
This is Donnie's Pizza. Only 1 hour left on
Oh,
a special
oh.
offer. 2 for the price of 1. Can I take your order?
That means it's like definitely Tuesday or
not
something.
right now. Thanks.
Then they should be like, then why are you calling, you bastard? Keefy.
Yeah, what'd you expect, Ellis?
Oh yeah, we pissed him off.
Hello, you have reached the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. How can I help you?
Yeah, it's... never mind. Sorry.
Wow, what a time waster.
Yeah, good boy.
Ah, that's a good little pup. Alright, sweet. We've called everybody who we needed to call. Let's move on up the train track. Oh, hello. Oh, wrong thing. Voice message. Last time I called my voice message, I had a horrible time.
You have 1 new message.
Yeah.
Where is he? What did you do to him? It's all because of you. I knew it. I always knew you'd.
You always knew I'd what? Ugh, man, people need to finish their sentences. Or this was the 90s actually. She could have just run out of credit. That's the real horror of this game. Bad signal, no credit. What can you do? Let's go, buddy. Choo 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 choo. This is a disused track, right? Otherwise, this bridge crossing could get fairly sketchy. Whoa! For a split second, I thought it was a train.
Rail cart. Come here, boy. Bullet. Up.
Oh, fuck it, let's just do this, I guess. So... Oh, okay, right, so... Direction lever, power switch. Forward, backward, brake lever. It's too much, man, it's just... I need to turn the brake off, don't I? How do I do that? That was literally... Hang on. Oh, there it is. Rock and roll, baby. Oh, it is dark out now. Oh yeah, this is going to get us through that little leafage, isn't it? Of course. I know, buddy.
You hanging in there, Bullet?
Oh, he's down.
Come on, buddy.
Oh, I might just pull this back a little bit. Because if I need to change the direction of that track, which it looks like I will.
Let's go, Bullet. I didn't know there was a locking operation out here. Stopped giving up permits in the 60s. This is ancient.
Oh, fucking videotape, man. Okay, before we watch that, let's do our Stream Raiders battle because it's ready. Okay. Got Almighty and Emotional Support Mom on here at the moment, so let's go. In fact, give me 2 seconds. Okay, we is back. The rewards go to a mighty and emotional support mob. So we're going to go down towards the blue dude. Just here. Okay, I'm going to put a paladin down here. So if you'd like to put some pals around my Aladdin, that would be really nice. Talking really nice, let's get back to Woodland Simulator. Okay. Why didn't that play? 2 seconds. No, it is the sound effects now. I've been waiting for one of you guys to actually notice that we added it, so I don't know why it's not playing. Let me just prove. Huh. I just played it now myself, so maybe that will also stop you guys from watching it playing it for a second. But that's what you should have heard.
The maintenance shed looks promising. And maybe there's some spare parts left.
Do I need to fix something? Because as far as I'm aware, we were alright.
Guidry, we just got a new delivery. Come to the maintenance shed to pick up the part you wanted. Robot.
The steam's escaping. Pressure's not going to build up. It's a valve, but the handle's missing. To close the valve cement, something can be screwed onto this pipe.
What do I have in my backpack actually? No, just gonna wash it off. I didn't mean that. That's what he actually looks like.
Come here, boy.
Just put it back on. I think he appreciates it more. It's alright, it's alright. We got it back. We have just a plastic bottle over here though. Oh, another dog tag. Voice Festa. Be negative to Catholics. That's really intolerant. Wow.
I think a pressure gauge goes in here. Without a handle, it's letting the steam.
So I need a proper pressure gauge and a proper handle. Okay, fair enough. What about this? What's this? Just a picture of Arcadius.
Bullet, search. Locked.
Where was that shed again?
You got nothing?
I guess I need to get back onto the thing now, maybe. Check that button. Okay, I'm gonna open that door back up. So, you are here. The maintenance shed is... yeah, just a teeny bit further down. Okay, okay, well that's not bad. Hopefully it's not bad that I've just been leaving it running this whole time too. Apart.
Bullets, up. Still with me, boy?
Oh fucking hell! That made me jump. Motherfucker.
Stick to the light, buddy. Should be safer this way.
Motherfucker. Oh, you're gonna play me like this, are you? Look how dark it is.
Little Angela Davis mustache wearing ass motherfucker. You little Richard Pryor short.
Who do you wait here?
Around the side wearing motherfucker. Little
Sammy Davis Award Jr. Afro haircut having ass motherfucker.
Dynamite disco Danny devastating. Don Cornelius with a haircut. Gentlemen.
Okay. Oh, that dude waited for us there. That was quite nice of him.
Bullet.
I'm hoping they can't just glide through walls. Oh, he's off.
Looks like we won't be getting in through here.
Yeah, I'm just gonna read this. Yeah. So we can't get through there, so we're gonna have to go around the back, I'm guessing. So I just cleanly run around the whole house. I'll chill for a minute. Oh, fucking hell, man.
Go get it, Fritz.
Good boy. That's a good boy. That's a good boy.
One down, one to go. Yeah, good dog.
Where's the other part? Is it not in the shed?
Aren't you a handsome boy?
I wonder if the Blair Witch was the dog inside all along, you know.
Unacceptable!
That is quite acceptable. Sergius. So bless you. No, that's not what I wanted. Okay. So we've got the presser gauge. And we need the handle or some shit. Waste one from Sam. Now we're out of space. So maybe I've got to go Camp B now. Oh look, he's having a little chill. Bless him. All right, so yeah, I assume we go to Camp B to get their steam donkey and then take the thing that they took and go back there. Bing! Let's kick it, boy.
Come on, buddy.
Oh, it is already facing that way, so that should be good. Oh shit.
Come on, buddy.
Was that a bad idea? Should I have not done that?
Why did you stop talking?
Yep. That's right. Hours of Alan Wake have prepared me for this. Okay, maybe I'm just going to carry on down there for now. Maybe we just carry on foot to Camp B. I genuinely didn't know if that was in my headphone or not. Why?
Fuses. Go figure. Ow! I can't take it out with the power on. It won't work. The fuse is missing. Maybe they had some spares lying around. Worst case scenario, we go in blind.
Well, see, that we're expecting nothing. I thought it wouldn't work at all. Oh, illegible. Background summary and reasons for referral. Patient brought in by parents due to extreme panic attacks, insomnia, and sleepwalking after a traumatic experience. Advised free therapeutic sessions per week. During a preliminary interview, I was able to determine the following: the patient may actively avoid recalling the event. Bless you. He experiences vivid nightmare since the event. Possible coping mechanism: he exhibits emotional numbness, irrational aggression, and dissociation to the event. Overall, he is very nervous. Possible undiagnosed anxiety neurosis. Lovely. Lovely, lovely. I got a little picture of a deer with its guts out. I thought it was going to be a little doggy at first. But a nice picture of a doggy, not that abomination. Close up a little area.
Well, hello there.
It hasn't done too much difference, has it? Is there a videotape that I'm meant to look at that's going to clear that one for me? Or do I just follow this path up to that light? Why are you gonna say oh boy like that, Bakura? Why are you going? Oh, okay. You just joined to fan phase. That's cool. That's good news. I thought you meant oh boy as in like, oh, I've seen this bit coming up, you know. The dreams are coming.
Come here.
My emotions.
This one is barely holding.
My emotions.
See if there's anything to salvage. This should do it.
I need this. Oh yeah.
My emotions! My emotions!
Okay, nice, Bakura, nice. Give in to that power. Another dog tag.
God, I'm so sorry.
Okay, fat boy, you gotta go work out. Have fun there, Rose Bakura. You get yourself some good climbing, my man. You reach those stars, you climb to them, you take them, you harvest them for their minerals, and then you throw them out walls. Have a great night. Well, I hope the raids go on later. So, when I took the camera from that old fool, it was full of senseless chatter, but I saw it. I saw things it can really do. Through it, I can look into darkness and see creatures that lurk there without being seen. Through it, I can see things that escape my eyes. And through it, I can gaze back into the things I've done. It won't let me forget. Well, that's nice, isn't it? I don't like the idea that if I have my camera on, I can see more horrible shit. Just won't look at the camera. Oh, easy does it, easy does it, easy does it, all day long, all fucking day, all fucking day. Okay.
Bullet!
Yeah, this track, it needs some financing from their local government. I mean, look, it's all overgrown. It looks barely like Fairly maintained. Back to the grill again. The grill again.
Bullets, up.
I wish this flashlight had a high beam on it, like a car. It made me feel more settled, you know. Hey, I'm Beefy Baby! Thank you for the host, my man. How are you doing today, you fine, fine gentleman? Why is it going so slow? I know, but it's slow as fuck.
You alright, buddy?
It's No Nut November? Oh, is that what's meant to go down? I never understood why people would want to do that to themselves. Silly bastards. But I didn't get this game. I barely played this game. I think I played it once before Halloween itself. So I'm gonna carry on this. Definitely gonna finish it, so I get at least one proper horror game experience under my belt.
That's our stop, buddy.
And then back to others. But I was gonna play some Far Cry today, but it just didn't want to load. It kept crashing. So I'll have to try again. And there's a fucking wheel right there. Why can't we just steal one of those? It's not like these machines need every part of it to work. Like, half of it's basically art, you know. Oh, hello. Oh no, dude, this is my chair. I've had this chair for ages. It's probably just because it was swiveled like that, so maybe it looked more like I was sitting on a sofa of sorts, but let's actually turn this thing on first, I guess. May not have been a while since I've seen your face. Oh, I suppose you've probably been doing RP a lot, right? Fucking left to Narnia for like a month. I mean, I've been doing streams every week still. Good couple of times a week. Have been short though. Nice. At least once or twice a week for sure. I want it just to stay safely in the green. Or should I just let it blow its lid? Oh, I can actually do it like this. Or do I want the whistle to blow? I don't really know.
Okay, let's fix this thing and try again.
Fix?
Gauge this time.
Damn it, okay. I just had to keep it in the green. If you've been streaming for weeks, I haven't noticed that would make me a horrible friend, and I'm not a horrible friend. Hey, no, my streams have been shorter, and they have been a little less frequent, but I have been streaming. But you've been, it's just ships in the night, my man. It's just ships in the night, that's all that's happening. That was meant to do. Oh shit, wrong thing.
And the road's clear. Hop on, buddy. Back on track. Now let's find that bastard.
And the road's clear. What are you on about? What are you even... Done it? What? What's the point of that? I don't even know why we did that. I don't think it ever told us to do it. It just seemed like fun. Oh, and this shit's cleared now, so I can actually carry on straight. Was that the whole point? I really don't remember. We've been sick, dying for 2+ weeks now. Oh shit, no! What's been going on, Beefy baby? Oh, I need that flashlight back.
Jump on, boy.
Oh shit, nope. Bronchitis and chest infection. That's rough, dude. Sorry to hear it. But clearing up now, hopefully? Not really. Oh, fuck, man. Yeah, they don't really give out, like, I know, at least in Britain, I don't think they give out, like, antibiotics and such as much now of that. Am I going the wrong way now? Because I did come... I don't... Where are we going, boy? I don't know what we're doing. Am I going the wrong way? Is this where we started? You get some RX, but only for... What does RX actually mean? I've seen it on, like, American, like, logo type things. I knew it was something to do with medicine, but what does that mean? Like, repeat prescription or something? Repeat prescription, maybe? For only 7 days, wasn't never fucking up, right? Right. RX means prescriptions. Oh, okay, cool, cool. Am I meant to be going to the sawmill? I think I am, but... Oh, yeah, these things. Just keep swimming, just keep swimming. Probably are meant to stop and start, but... Oh, God. Oh, God. Fuck off now, please. Oh. Oh, shit!
No, don't stop now. Just a little further.
Just gun it. Just keep gunning it.
It's fine, buddy. We're fine.
I can't pet him right now. I will be petting him as soon as we're off this. Oh, shit! Oh, shit!
It's fine, buddy. We're fine.
Just a little further.
You alright, buddy?
Yeah, I'm being attacked by leaves. It's the latest form of hay fever, BP. It's monstrous.
Stay still, boy. Very still.
Flaming wolf I would solve that. I reckon it would. Well, please don't let my dog fall off here. I don't really care about Ellis, but Bullet's not. Doesn't need to have anything bad happen.
Oh, thank God. You alright, buddy?
Oh god, it literally did break. I should look backwards.
Still with me, boy?
I've been fucking dying. No oxygen.
Come on, buddy.
Yeah, that's Luju even, not Exuju. Jesus. Oh, wrong button.
Yeah, good dog.
He is a good dog. Right, we got a signal again, so let's try some of the people. Let's try hitting up some of the people again. Or is it becoming daylight again as well? Stop breathing, do you reckon that'd be more? Yeah, you could just hold your breath for a little bit. If we all hold our breath for a little bit, that's not a bad shot actually, game. Oh shit. Just meant to not call Donnie, so didn't mean to skip it. Like that. It's not like a quad, it's the ability to breathe. Do you have like an asthma pump or anything like that you could use for relief? Did you just Donnie's Pizza? No, I didn't call them. I have called them a couple of times though. They're always open. I'd call them again in a minute. They're always open, but he basically just says, "Oh, actually, no, thank you," which is bullshit because who doesn't want pizza? Oh, they might be closed now because it's oh, veterinarians are open.
Hello, Ellis. What can I do for you?
Hi, could you remind me when our next appointment is?
Sure, just a moment. It's next month on the 5th for teeth cleaning. Just please, let Bullet blow off some steam before you come in. He'll drive the nurses mad if he starts running around like the last time.
Yeah, sure thing. We'll see you then.
I'm hoping they stop blocking us because we keep just not ordering pizza. See, Donnie's is always open, man.
This is Donnie's Pizza. Try our signature Birkenstock Bulger, now with
It's just ready.
Maybe some other time.
Well, then why are you calling now?
Hey, they're finally asking him why he's doing that. Usually they're just like, okay. Alright, let's do stream ready just quick, and then back to it. Okay, we got this. GG. We done did well, guys, and Almighty gets that reward. Beautiful. Okay, put the big bugger there. Get fighting you. Just give me 2 seconds. Okay, back to it. So like, is actual trading card games still a thing over in your side of the world? Not a video game of said trading card game, but actual cards. Yeah, like when I went to visit my brother Enzmo with Pakura a little while ago, those two were playing a Final Fantasy based like trading card game. But yeah, I think they're still definitely like going. You know. But just got to be into it. Okay. Let's go. Oh, my phone's been ringing.
Yeah?
Ellis, hey. You okay? You sound out of breath.
Well, there's a new one being released tomorrow. Excited to start playing. It's car racing based. Oh, fair, man. What's it called?
Yeah, I know.
And I'm guessing it's based on like complete like real cars and stuff.
I think I'm starting to lose it, Jess. I see these things and I don't even know if they're real or not. I don't know which is worse.
Whoa. Okay.
Ellis, talk to me.
Wild auto racing. Sounds cool.
It's hard to explain. Memories. Bad memories.
Listen to me, Ellis. You've been through a lot, more than anyone I know, but you survived because you're strong. And you will get through this. I know you will. You know, I know you won't turn your back, so I won't ask you again. Just once this is over, call me if you want to ride home.
Surely he drove up
Thanks,
himself,
Jess.
right?
For everything.
Well, like initial D Tokyo Underground Racing, but they didn't get licensed for actual brand names. Ah, okay. Top Trumps was the shit. Yeah, that is the best card-based game for shoresies. Yeah, I used to have loads of different Top Trumps. They were sick.
Here. Good dog.
Oh, give him little belly scratches. Oh, come on, you. Fucking cute. man.
Bullet. Come here, boy. This is it. The place we were looking for.
Seems unstable. Did it just save or did something just show up? I've just got a signal, I think. Okay. Even now, Top Trump balls hard. You know it, dude.
Heal!
Can he get through the door if it's closed?
It's old, not abandoned. Someone lives here. Creepy.
Raphael. Oh shit, they got the turtles involved now? This is bullshit. My last trade to getting was original Pokemon one. Okay, nice. I bet you realize you're not doing great financially because you're having chips and pizza for dinner, but to follow up with an 8-year-old single malt Irish whiskey and one of you're not going to eat too good. And there is fuck all wrong with beans on toast, my man. Or beans on toast one night last week. Fucking great. As long as you got the cheese, then you'll always be appeased. Boots. I haven't seen boots in years. I don't really want to. Let's see, this doesn't seem great, does it? It's just being chased by a film crew. Oh! Oh, bloody hell. Okay. Okay, so this guy's not having a great time. Just gonna open that door for us. Alright, open the door. Sweet, that's probably what we need. I know, buddy. I know. Close that door. Alright, so we're gonna need to have this door open.
Come here, boy.
Alright.
Quiet, boy. We're not alone here.
Aren't you a handsome
If you had fried egg, it would have been phenomenal. Fair, dude, yes. Chips and beans, what's that in American? Fries and baked beans, yeah. So fries and baked beans, with like cheese on, I'd assume. Cowboy supper without sausages, yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Quiet, boy. We're not alone here.
I think we're alone now. There might actually be someone else around. Didn't the dude like pushed or opened something else when he was in here, didn't he? Oh, over here, it was here, wasn't it? My dog growling.
Heal!
Yeah. Bluber? Barbara? There wasn't anything else from there. Huh. 3324. Oh, but I'll forget that. I saw it. Not a witch or a monster, but a man. A man carrying the pelts of a skinned human. He saw me. Now he's coming. Cover. Well, there is a nutter running around with antlers on, to be fair. Gotcha, sounds pretty good. Needs protein, but still good. No, beans are protein, aren't they? Aren't beans protein? I'm pretty sure beans are protein. They're definitely fiber. Can it be fiber and protein? I'm not a foodologist. Was it 3324 or 3326? I don't know, wasn't it? Is there like a safe or something around here? That's my dog. Usually there's sausage in there, but you didn't have any sausages. Baked bean, tins of baked bean with sausages in are legit. That's real talk right there. What did I need the pin for? Maybe I meant to use the camera once I'm in that little bit, or oh. Is there a safe in here that I didn't see previously, or wasn't shown to me because I didn't have the lock? There was a lock earlier in the game that I never actually ended up doing, wasn't there? Korea bean. What's a Korea bean? Our baked bean says bacon chunks. Ooh, okay. One sauce would be pretty good. Yeah. Got like usually like little sausages, almost like little cocktail sausages. It's real good stuff, beef. You'd love it, man. But with bacon in, that sounds fairly legit.
Huh?
Alright, let's take a crack at the zombie. Oh, your foot's been taken, mate.
Hey.
Are people eating you?
Can you hear me? The blood's still fresh. Some of those are defense wounds. Multiple cuts.
Little frankfurters, that's it, yeah. Like the good bacon, not super fatty stuff, okay.
Let me just...
Yank that away from your wounds. Uh-oh. Flashbacks.
What? What? How? Jesus Christ! What the fuck just happened?
I didn't have a chance. The saw went right into the collarbone. Pulled it in.
Oh, Jesus.
His face.
Oh. Ugh. Just having a bad day. Oh, time to watch another video. Yay. The murder! Here we go. Fucking Dale Quilson. Feel like we're gonna have to stealth away from this man at some point, right? Or the witch maybe will save us. Okay, I wasn't paying attention to that video enough to see what I needed to do to change stuff, but... Was it to make that work? So what's been done differently on this one, or am I just figuring out what the murder was? Maybe if I do that, the knife's still there? Maybe I'm just meant to leave. I'm not actually sure what I'm even meant to be doing here as such at the moment. The 2 K-bar to the belly would have killed him if the giant saw blades didn't. Fair. I don't really know what I'm meant to be doing here beyond maybe just... like seeing how this bird actually got killed by this guy that we're blatantly going to have to run away from.
Come here, boy.
My doggy.
Heal.
Right, I'm going to approach this madman. I'm not going to leave Bullet to die, so...
It's you. You killed Lanning.
Did you see her? What? When you looked into their eyes, did you see her?
Then where's Peter? What have you done to him?
It's not time yet. He awaits.
Stop messing with me or what?
You kill me. Killing is always the solution, isn't it?
Oh, he looks like he's got jaundice in the eyes.
Weak. Too scared.
Your hands are trembling even now.
is happening?
The boy will die. He has to die. Such is her will.
Well, that's not very nice of her, is it? Wait, what's going to happen to us though? And I'm Bullet. Oh. Well, at least we don't have to walk. Conserve our energy. Where are we going? I also have no idea how long this game actually is. Oh, back in the war? That's it, exactly.
It was me, sir.
We didn't even have to get like proper like knocked
Elijah
out, you know?
5. I was the point man, sir.
What are you trying to say, soldier?
I led those men into the ambush, sir.
Oh. Why is Nerd not working?
Injured.
I'll check out this cutscene
6
why Nerd
dead.
isn't working again.
6 grieving widows. 9 orphan children.
Oh.
1 negligent soldier.
Oh.
He should have been court-martialed.
It's not my fault they had children to be
I
getting
couldn't
grieved.
stay. Not after that.
It wasn't your fault, Ellis.
It does sound like a little bit like it was.
Easy. So easy. Oh, you're so weak. I was weak like you once. See this knife? I remember holding it against my wrist, pressing it deeper and deeper, wanting to end it all, to silence the voices.
I should shank this dude. Oh, nope, too late.
Weak.
I think I have to order Chinese. I don't believe I have a choice. That does sound like a logical explanation there, Mojo.
I should have listened from the start.
You don't want to die.
That's what set me free. You'll understand soon enough.
Oh, that's my dog. Oh, hello. She also had yellow eyes. He doesn't. I know, right? He's just walking through the woods barefoot. I mean, it's back to nighttime again. I didn't even get daytime.
He's gone. He dragged me out here and just left.
By the tent again as well.
Hey there, sleepyhead.
Hey, what do you want?
Looking if I don't attack risk. That's fair, Mojo. Yeah, he is wearing sticks as a t-shirt. Yeah. Thank you for your efforts, by the way, Mojo, dude. The world appreciates it.
This. Huh? It's all rotten. But how? Would have taken years for it to get this bad.
Oh, another nice little picture. Patient in for monthly appointment in relation to his anxiety neurosis. Seems kept in check. Again, no discussion of the woods or his friend dissociative amnesia worsening. I admit, this patient is beginning to concern me. Everyone seems to have moved on, but the fact that he does not talk about the woods at all is almost eerie. He has become interested in hiking and hunting. Was offered a scholarship out of state, but he does not want to leave town. Something is keeping him here. Okay. Right, okay, fair enough. Not the best of woods, I feel, with you.
Each one is more twisted than the last.
Can't really see this one because I don't have my torch on.
Come here, boy. Good boy.
Oh, the video camera. Just grab it. What are you? It's a tree, mate. What are you scared of? It's not like it's a leaf.
That son of a bitch.
It's a deal, isn't it? She wants you, oh. Oh. Oh, he's saying this really quietly, but we've got subtitles on, so we're good.
Fucking bastard.
Wait, what the hell is this?
The hell is what? You keep putting away the fucking torch, so I can't see nothing.
Creepy.
Patrick.
Bullet!
You should have a little snacky poo.
Here you go, boy. Enjoy.
Alrighty, so we got to go to the white tree and get branches. That's what he said, right? I have no idea where that was.
Heal! See if you can find something, buddy.
Nothing, eh?
Right. We woke up and walked back this way a little bit, so I'm going to assume the white tree was somewhere back here. Can I go this way? I cannot. I think the white tree was back here somewhere, but I really am just kind of walking and hoping at this point.
Heal!
Oh, hello. I know, my flashlight's shit, right? Like I said, it needs high beams. Good boy. Wait to get us proper dark, man. This torch sucks ass. Oh, did that road just appear for me? You have about half a dozen flashlights with like 300-foot throws and like 1,000 lumens. Damn, son. Do you not enjoy being lost in the dark? No. God, no. Does anybody? Apart from sadists? I walk back to the tent. I don't know these words at all, man.
Bullet! Okay, seek.
Nothing there, huh?
Okay. This game definitely does a good job of getting you lost in the woods. Am I back at here again? How? How do I always end up back at this goddamn fucking campsite? I have no fucking idea where I go. I'm gonna try walking straight back. You know, there's a monster thing out there somewhere. Yeah. Yeah, there is. 666, 100%. Yeah. Oh, that no, sorry, 100%. No, there's a monster thing out here with us. Okay, yep, shit, yeah. Sorry, my brain is also slow. What the fuck? What the fuck? Indeed. This fucking game. Yeah, this game is stunning visually for sure. It really is. I have no idea what I'm doing though. That's the wrong video. That's the very first video, right? Yeah. Oh, that's when he was murdered. So about that video we just had, why is that not here anymore? So we had that one, but then it goes back to the very first video. So I'm meant to be going back to one of these videos to do something here. Yeah, what's the deal? There's no the deal, right? I ain't scared. I have no fucking idea where I'm going. Every time I try and get away from that campsite, I always come back to it.
Bullet, search.
You got this, buddy. Find something, because I'm at a loss here. Sweet fuckle. This leads me back to the tent, doesn't it? Oh, Jesus. Really do have a map of these woods that I'm investigating, you know?
psycho. Hey, I want to talk. So you're just gonna ignore me now.
Okay, let's let me do anything there. Okay, we do Stream Raiders in just a second. Because I'm blatantly going to end up back at the camp in 2 seconds anyway. Yup. I must be missing something, right? Like, I'm just going around in circles. Just want to go to bed in here. It's feeling like that. Okay, let's do Stream Raiders. Alright, let's fight. Fight with gusto. Oh, EZ. Okay. Boom. Almighty he gets all the rewards because he was the only one there. Lovely. And now we're going for a blue loyalty skin. So get in on the fun.